You're replaceable, Mark. Don't ever forget that. Those 6 words cut deeper than any knife could. She didn't yell. They came out calm, measured, cruel. No tremor in her voice. No flicker in her eyes. That was what made it unbearable. Because in that moment I knew she meant it. The woman I'd married 6 years ago, the one who used to look at me like I was her whole world, was gone. All that remained was a stranger. It began subtly, the way most betrayals do. Late-night texts, whispered phone calls, excuses about extra shifts or girls' nights. I didn't want to be that paranoid husband who timed her outings, but when you love someone that deeply, your instincts know when something's off. One night, she came home smelling faintly of a cologne I didn't own. New perfume. I asked. She barely glanced up from her phone. You're imagining things. I laughed it off, but something inside me twisted. I could feel her slipping away, inch by inch, replaced by irritation and cold detachment. The woman who used to text me just to say she missed me now couldn't even meet my eyes. So I started noticing, watching, listening. Her phone, once left carelessly on the counter, was now locked. She guarded it like it held state secrets. She began spending weekends at her mom's, though her mother lived barely 20 minutes away. Then one night, she walked in past midnight, hair messy, lipstick smudged. You okay? I asked. She froze for half a second, then forced a smile. Just tired. I wanted so badly to believe her. I wanted to be wrong. But the truth has claws. It always finds a way out. A few days later, I found proof. I'd left for work early, but turned back after realizing I'd forgotten my laptop. When I stepped through the door, I heard her voice in the kitchen, soft, flirty. She wasn't alone. I'll see you tonight, she said, laughing softly. He thinks I'm working late again. I stepped into view before she could hang up. Her face went pale. Mark, she stammered. Who are you talking to? Nobody. Just a coworker. Don't lie to me. Her lips parted, searching for an excuse that never came. For a moment, I thought I saw guilt, but it vanished as fast as it appeared. You're overreacting, she said finally. You've been so insecure lately. It's exhausting. Insecure? I repeated, my pulse pounding. I just heard you tell another man you'd see him tonight. She crossed her arms. So what if I did? Maybe I'm tired of pretending everything's fine when it's not. The room went still. My heart hammered so hard it hurt. Are you cheating on me? She didn't answer. And sometimes silence tells you more than words ever could. That night, she slept in the guest room. I didn't sleep at all. I just stared at the ceiling until dawn, feeling hollowed out. By morning, I'd made up my mind. She was sitting at the kitchen table, scrolling through her phone, completely unbothered. Do you love him? I asked. She looked up, a faint smirk on her lips. Does it matter? It does to me. She sighed, as if I were inconveniencing her. Mark, people change. You're nice, safe, but safe isn't exciting. You got comfortable. I got bored. Something inside me shattered. Our wedding vows, the road trips, her falling asleep on my chest. It all flashed through my mind like a cruel montage. So that's it? I asked quietly. 6 years, and I'm just boring now. She shrugged. I guess so. The indifference in her tone hit harder than any confession could. That's when I realized she'd left this marriage long before she ever said it aloud. And then came the words that ended everything. You're replaceable, Mark. Never forget that. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just stood there, numb. Because when someone you love tells you you're replaceable, you stop fighting for their love. You start fighting for your dignity. I walked into the bedroom, grabbed a suitcase, and began packing her things. She followed me, her voice sharp. What the hell are you doing? Helping you move out. Her eyes widened. You can't be serious. I zipped the suitcase shut. Dead serious. Mark, you're being ridiculous. We can talk about this later. No, I said, my voice steadier than it had been in weeks. You don't get to cheat, belittle me, and then decide when we talk. You made your choice. She scoffed, trying to sound confident. You think you'll actually find someone better than me? I looked her dead in the eyes. I don't need someone better. I just need someone honest. She stared at me, maybe waiting for me to beg, but I didn't. I carried her suitcase to the front door and set it down. You have an hour to leave. When she realized I wasn't bluffing, her voice cracked. You'll regret this. Maybe, I said quietly. But at least I'll regret it with my self-respect intact. Her expression wavered. Anger, shock, maybe even fear. Then she grabbed her bag and walked out without another word. When the door clicked shut, I sank to the floor. Every ounce of composure I'd held onto crumbled. I cried, not for losing her, but for losing the version of us I thought was real. The apartment was painfully quiet. Her perfume still lingered in the air like a ghost that refused to leave. I picked up my phone, opened the folder of her old messages, the ones I'd reread when I still believed in her, and deleted every single one. Then I opened my laptop, typed an email to my lawyer, and wrote 2 words, file divorce. My hands shook, but my heart was steady. The next morning, the silence in the house didn't feel suffocating anymore. I made coffee, sat by the window, and watched the sunrise. For the first time in weeks, it looked beautiful. I thought about her words, "You're replaceable." Maybe she was right, in her world where love is conditional and loyalty optional. But in mine, love still meant something. She might have replaced me, but she'd never define me. A week later, my lawyer called, papers filed, process started. I signed without hesitation. Because sometimes losing someone isn't the worst thing, it's how you remember your worth. Months later, I saw her again, of all places, at the grocery store. She froze when she saw me, maybe even looked sorry. "Mark," she said softly. "You look good." "Thanks," I replied. "You too." There was a pause before she asked, "Do you ever think about us?" I smiled faintly. Sometimes. Mostly to remind myself how far I've come. She looked away, biting her lip, regret flickering in her eyes. I walked past her, leaving her standing in the aisle. And for the first time, I didn't feel pain, just peace. Because I wasn't replaceable.